Hey, I'm Matt, and on today's Matt's World DIY, it's the holidays, and what does that mean? It's time for pumpkin pie. Today I'm going to make this easy, quick, delicious pumpkin pie recipe that you and your family are sure to enjoy. So let's get to it. For this pumpkin pie recipe, if you're using a homemade crust, then you'll want to go ahead and blind bake your crust and get that ready for your filling. I'm going to use, because I'm doing this quickly today, I'm going to use frozen pie crust. And so I'm not going to have to do any blind baking. But regardless, get your oven set to 400 degrees, get that preheated while you get your ingredients all assembled. So let's get to assembling these ingredients. It goes all in one bowl. Super amazing. One bowl, mix it up, pour into the pie crust, boop, in the oven. What's not to be done? So good job. The first thing I'm going to do is measure out 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar packed. I don't like to pack my brown sugar because it creates lumps in the mix and I don't want to even start with that. So I'm going to start out by measuring 165 grams of brown sugar. I'm going to make sure that there are no lumps and bumps in my brown sugar before I get started. So I'm just going to use my whisk and kind of just prep that for the time being. Okay, I have my sugar. Let's get the spices in there. I'll need a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, delicious. A 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1/8 teaspoon of ground cloves. Now, if you wanted to, you could use a pumpkin pie spice that's got the blend of all of these ingredients in it already, but I like to do individually because you can actually, if you like more cinnamon, you can put more cinnamon. If you want more cloves, you can do that. But I'm sticking to my recipe here and it's absolutely perfect. So I'm going to mix that together just to incorporate all of the seasonings, spices, just to get those well mixed in, well blended. My spices are all well mixed, and now I'm going to add 3 large eggs. Make sure your eggs are at room temperature. All of your ingredients you put in should be at room temperature because this will ensure that you'll have a nice, thorough, even bake from the center of your pie all the way to the edge. If the ingredients are cold that are going into your pie, it's going to, number 1, take longer to bake, and then number 2, it'll be more done on the outside and less done on the inside, and that would just really not be desirable. No. Before I go on though, I'm going to break up these eggs, kind of mix them in, incorporate that in to my sugar mixture before I put anything else in. I just want to ensure that the egg whites are nicely broken down. We also want to add into our mixture 1 15-ounce can of pumpkin puree. Let's see if it'll come out this way. Well, it needs some encouragement. Oh, it's such a pretty orange. I'm telling you, there's something about this time of year that just is really special to me. And food just brings back so many memories of spending time with family and close friends. I don't know, it's just very, very special. And I appreciate this time of year. All right, I have my pumpkin in. It looks nice and happy in its sugar and egg bath. Now I'm going to add in a 12-ounce can of evaporated milk. Oh my goodness. Makes it nice and creamy. Now on these frozen pie shells that I'm using, even though it says deep dish, this will fill 2 frozen pie shells easily. We also need to have a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, which I forgot to put in, so I'm going to put it in now. Because I'm using iodized salt, I'm using a little bit less than a 1/2 teaspoon. Do not forget the salt in your sweet dishes. It really helps enhance the flavors and kind of cuts back on that such a crazy sweetness. All right, this looks great. Time to get those pie shells. So I have my 2 frozen pie shells here, and I'm going to carefully pour this mixture into each one of the pie shells. And let's see how well I do it. I need to make sure that I do it evenly, that each one of the shells gets the same amount. These smell delicious and they haven't even started cooking yet. So before I get these into the oven, let me just say, you really need to put these on a lined baking tray, baking dish, before you put them in the oven, just to help in case there's any kind of spillage from going from here into the oven. You want to make sure that you have a backup plan so that you don't have pie filling everywhere. So my pies are ready to go into the oven. The oven is set at 400 degrees. We're going to bake this for the first 15 minutes at 400 degrees. Then we're going to turn our heat down to 350 and bake this for another 40 minutes until the centers of the pie are just set. My pies are out of the oven and they've been cooling on the cooling rack for about 2 hours now. And they are very much ready to cut into and give a taste test. So let's get into it. I can't wait. I'm gonna cut into this one here. Oh boy. I got kind of a wimpy little slice, but I think it's gonna be good for my taste test. This is the prettier pie. This one kind of had a little bubbling of the crust. So this is the one that I'll take to my dinner that I'll be going to on Thanksgiving. I hope you get a chance to make this recipe. This pie is perfection. It's sweet, it's delicate, it's light, it's wonderful. Your friends and family are gonna like it. It's perfect for the holidays. Also, if you like what I've got going on my channel, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It helps my channel grow and I really appreciate that. Also, if you like this recipe, check out what I have on my Sweets and Bakes playlist. I'm sure you'll enjoy that as well. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.